I am in Norway. I am in Trondheim, more specifically at my mom's. She's out with the dogs right now. It's just midnight. Now you may be wondering why haven't I done the usual travel vlog where I record a bit from the airport and a bit from the plane and all that stuff, you know. It's not like I teleported here. Let me tell you that story. It's a really good story. It's not the most happy way to start a little travel vlog, but it's all got a happy ending, well, for some. It's not a very happy start. Someone got hit by a train in London. So the story goes anyway. And so when I left my home at 2 o'clock and I was at Farringdon station shortly thereafter, yeah, the previous trains had been cancelled. The one I was going to take was coming. Me and this Spanish girl would come up to me and ask me what was going on, joined me there. I reassured her that map said this train is running, all the signs said it was running. We take it through Blackfriars Station, and then shortly, it was somewhere between Blackfriars Station and London Bridge Station, it just stops. And the train driver person just says on the speakers, so I don't know what happened, but apparently this train was supposed to be cancelled, but nobody told me that. We were supposed to stop at the previous train station and go no further, so I don't know what's gonna happen now. So we just stood there for a while, and eventually we got to proceed to London Bridge, and then we had to leave because the train stopped there. And so basically I'd gotten no further. I wouldn't say London Bridge, that might as well be my local station as well. So we then decide, me and this stranger that had become my travel companion, the best way forward would be to go to Victoria Station, because according to my travel app, all the Gatwick Express trains were running. They were fine. It's just the trains from this side of London that couldn't get through to Croydon and that area. So we managed to, within like 15 minutes, take the tube over to Victoria on the complete other side of town, luckily connected with some very quick tube lines. So we get there, we get to Gatwick Express, and it's full of people because the train isn't going anywhere, which hadn't appeared on the app for whatever reason. They were all cancelled, they were all just stood there. That's not a lot of focus, is it? So we were freaking out, but we ran into someone who immediately just said, do you guys want to join in on an Uber, and we'll get one to Gatwick. I thought, you know, the price of an Uber divided by 3 people, well, we could do that. So we get an Uber, we drive a bit, and then the Spanish girl says to the driver, so when do you reckon we'll be there? Do you think I will make it through my flight? Her flight was a bit earlier than mine, just by like an hour or so. And the driver says, no, definitely not. This drive usually takes an hour if there is no traffic, but there's a huge traffic jam right now, so it will take likely an hour and a half. Oh, now it says an hour and a half and 1 minute, like the app. So we thought about it and decided to turn around and go back to Victoria Station. So she probably missed her flight. I didn't see her much after that. The guy who ordered the Uber with us decided to cover the charges of just basically driving 20 minutes from Victoria and 20 minutes back, which wasn't even that far. It just took so long because there was a traffic jam all over London, and it wasn't even rush hour. I don't know what was going on. Fridays, I guess. So he managed to locate a local train for me before we part ways, and I get on that, and it's apparently going to Gatwick. It's just local trains, it's slower, a lot slower. And I'm there, and as I'm there and I'm trying to get reception, but it's kind of on the ground, so a little bit hard, and then it says it's been postponed, it's not going to leave until another half hour. And then I hear over the speakers just outside the train that the lines are now open again, and I'm like, this is my face, that's not my face. Focus. I debate my chances. I'm already on a train that will take me to Gatwick Airport, but I don't know if it's going to do it in time. I even discussed with a friend of mine who lives in Sutton, who may be able to drive me from South London to Gatwick within maybe half an hour if traffic's good, which it wasn't. So I decided to take the plunge and get my suitcase off that train and run to the Gatwick Express past all those people that look very offended that you try to get past those slow people. And sorry, I got a bit interrupted there. It's morning now, so I slept meanwhile. Where was I in the story? Yes, when I arrived at the Gatwick Express, every carriage was full. It was completely full. It was people packed together. There wasn't any room for anyone, not even, yeah, nothing, not even my suitcase. Not that I would have my suitcase travel without me, but you know, there's really no room. So I just ended up standing there just looking like I'd given up on everything. And the man that stands in the doorway amongst many people in every doorway just kind of goes, you know, you can have this place, I don't need this train. And you know, clearly seeing my luggage, I need to get to the airport, whereas he just probably needed to go south, I guess, maybe. So he just let me have his space, and the door just shut like next to my shoulder. I could only hold my phone if I held it like under where that handle is for the door, because there was no room. There was really no room. We were like sardines. So I just stood there until we were at Gatwick. I am really quick at Gatwick. I know the ins and outs. Gatwick is the airport, by the way. So I just quickly got my bag checked in, myself checked in, and went through security. And when I was in security, my flight was boarding. Because I was famished, I did actually manage to get a Snickers bar and some water and a deodorant and stuff very quickly, but I quickly had to give up on queuing for any real sustenance. So I ran to my gate, which was one of those gates that's like in the new building that's a bit further away. That's like yeah. Anyway, I made it. People were just boarding, like half of them were maybe in the plane. I made it just about. I don't think the Spanish girl who I met at the train station did. I heard everyone on the plane like talk about the miracle stories of how they made it to the plane, what train they took, how it was just this close. So yeah, and I'm wearing clothes, by the way. This isn't like I'm like wearing a full-on blanket because it's quite chilly right now. But yeah, so you might want to know in case this looks a bit too summery. It's definitely not summer in Norway, just FYI. It's raining. More on that later. Look what I found in the freezer. So it's Sunday, although Saturday seemed to have gone away into family stuff, which is not when I'm gonna bring out my camera. So basically, my mum went on holiday. That's why I'm here. I'm to look after the dog, because I'd rather have her pay me flight tickets than her paying a kennel, so the dogs can get home and we can all be very happy. So yeah, she was just full on until 2 o'clock when she left, and then my sister came over at 3. And we decided on a whim, because there were a couple of tickets left, to go see our favorite comedians, because they had come to Trondheim to have a show. That is Titsoutcollective, if any of you are familiar with them. They're Norwegian and they are hilarious, and yeah, not safe for work. And that was brilliant. They did kind of lose me a bit in the end. I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't quite catch the humor. I don't know. It was really fun. I am so glad we made it, even though we had like seats at the very back row. we could see everything, even though facial details and that kind of thing wasn't really happening. So yeah, I came back home a bit late at midnight, so I just went to bed, and the dogs had already been out earlier before we left, so pretty good day. We had takeout before we went to the show, and yeah, it's now Sunday. I have just been sat home trying to catch up with some of my deadline knits, and now eventually I had to walk the dogs again because we live in a flat. There's no garden to let them out if they need a wee, so I thought I'd take them down to the fjord, to the beach, to the fjärde as we call it. Fjärde is basically a fjord beach because it's not like sandy, it's just kind of mostly rocky. It can be sandy too, but you know, it's got seaweed everywhere, rocks. It's quite harsh landscape. It's like an old boathouse here, and 3 dogs, and look, there's a rainbow. I don't know if you can see it. I did put some other footage in here so you can see the rainbow, but hey, isn't it fabulous? This whole place is fabulous. Every time I come here I'm like, why did I move? And then give me a week, I'm like, it's so boring here, I don't know what to do. So always mixed feelings, but and it's been raining full on all day. It's like 8-9 degrees Celsius. It's not the warmest day. This is like London in the winter basically, which is like wearing a jacket. I'm just wearing my fun and feather and my winter shawl. So just to show you a bit around, just a nice view, you know. It's in the suburbs, so I don't expect we'll get to be alone for too long, so I feel a bit awkward. It's just little houses in front of me. Such a beautiful place. I used to grow up way like up on the hill, so there wasn't walking distance to here growing up, and it wasn't until I was about 17 that we moved down here where we could actually walk down to the beach every day and just embrace the quiet. Except that usually this is where kindergartens go to hang out because it's a fun place to be, and it's good for kids to be in nature and stuff and things, I've heard. Not that I know stuff about nature or kids. Hello, grumpy dogs. Oh, you guys just want to walk. You don't understand why we stopped here. Why, human? Why have we stopped here? Why would you do this to us when we could go exploring? The injustice, Sally. The injustice. We got caught by the rain, more specifically a hailstorm. I smell like wet sheep. My French game is not strong today. Ooh. Of course the hailstorm was only when we were out, only when we were heading back, and now that we're inside there's no rain. Oh yeah, my mom built this kind of glass thing over the terrace so that we can see outside even when the weather is unbearable. I think it was mostly because of the wind that used to come up here, because this is like placed so that there's really nothing shielding us from the wind. I remember I used to take the bus from just up the hill here, and it's the same thing. There's nothing stopping the wind from coming to you either from the northwest or east. So yeah, it's pretty nice now. I can sit here and cool down and dry up with the dogs, who are very upset with me because it's feeding time according to them. According to me it's still another hour, but they are like, but we always get food after our walks. There's not usually a human home with them, so they don't know the difference, and they're just gonna stare at me now until they get their food, because it's a dog life for you. Well, I'm just sat here anyway. I might as well talk to you guys. I don't know if any of you know what a fjord is. Like, most people talk about fjords a lot and it's like, oh, Norway, ah, exciting. But people seem to think that fjords are lakes. They're not, they're sea, they're ocean. They're just slits of the land that's been carved by the ocean between the mountains. So the ocean comes really far into the country. So you get sea salt, you get sea species in the water, you get seaweed, you get the whole thing. It's sea. It's not a lake. It's not, yeah, it's salty water. So I thought you may want to know that. Yeah, you got the same stuff over in like British Columbia and stuff at the west coast over there, because I've been there, so I've seen it. Oh, my makeup, is it that bad? I don't do well with being wet. I'm a bit like a cat. Now they're gonna stay out there and dry and look at me like I'm being really horrible to them, as though it's freezing out there. It's
almost 10 degrees and they're dogs with coats. I think they can manage. Oh, poor you. Oh, look at you, poor souls.
By the way, if anyone asks you what's the best chocolate from Norway, it's this stuff and this whale marzipan. That's completely unrelated. I just happen to have both and I thought you should know. It's so good, so tasty. So the dogs have all been fed and I thought we could do an episode of what's in my mom's knitting basket. This is my mom's knitting basket right here. I'll just shove it a bit closer. I hope it doesn't fall down. It's a nice little sort of wood basket. It's full of pretty much everything she's knitted since around the time I was born. At least the stuff that she didn't finish, which is probably most things. So I'm not sure what we can expect to find here, but I'll put it in front of me because it's easier to reach for things. So we're gonna just have to see the dogs in the background. This is very amusingly invasive, but I know she won't mind. So, first bag is a shopping bag, equivalent of, I don't know, Tesco. It's full of DPNs and singles. She does use circulars as well, but I have run off with a few of them, and then I found a knitting case for them. So this is just full of really old DPNs. Like, why would she have made socks with these needles? Maybe sleeves, I suppose sleeves. So yeah, it's a lot of these, but look at these. Like, there's a lot of single pointed needles. That's what I mean by singles. I guess I'm the only one calling them that. Kind of tempted to run off with them again, because well, maybe not these matte ones, but I don't know, I've been kind of curious about the Shetland style knitting, you know, where you put a long needle on the arm or in the belt, and then people who do that don't seem to really differentiate between their preference for knits and pearls, and that speaks to me. Plus they seem to be really efficient, which I kind of like too. I never really wanted to knit in any other way than I do. I'm really happy as a continental knitter, but this has got me a bit curious, so maybe. Oh, Renja's come to join us. Isn't that nice? You can just sit here. Oh, such a baby. So what else do we have? Oh, there's a project, finally. Oh, this is from when my mom decided to knit dishcloths. It's a very long dishcloth, Mom. I mean, you could have bound this off. It's kind of, aren't these supposed to be squares? Maybe she should go on forever. I mean, I don't think she was trying to make a scarf. There's not really a lot of yarn in here, and they're pretty small balls. So, I know, it's yarn. Very exciting. Ooh, another project that there's no needle. Oh, this is when she was gonna knit I think a hen. It's like a cozy hen. I don't know if this is for like a wine box or something. It's a hen. It's yellow. Like it's like an Easter thing. We were decorated with chickens and stuff at Easter. I don't know why. Yes, here's a pattern. So yeah, it's a wine hen, and you get the wine through the hen's butt. So let's see if we can get the whole pattern. Yeah. It's a sunless pattern. Maybe SKD has the pattern even, I don't know. But yeah, you put the wine. There's like, you know, there's like the wine wine boxes, and there's a bag in there, and you can just put the bag inside the hen and get wine out of it. But so she's using fleeted skein, which is really nice. It's like just pure Norwegian chunky wool. Really nice. I like fleeted skein. This is one of the nicest fleeted skein I've felt. Yeah. I approve of Mom's yarn choices, but oh my god. Finish it already. You're working with chunky yarn. How hard is it? Yes, I'm the right person to be judgmental about not finishing projects. Hush. Oh, she's done the wings, apparently. Anyway, I was just gonna say I'm not really halfway done with this box, so we can sit here all day. Okay, here she's clearly worked with some alpaca yarn and decided she didn't like it, which I could have told her. She probably found that this hat is not enough stretch for alpaca. Like, it's just gonna flop. It's really big. With alpaca. So looks like she came to that realization. It's fine if you like alpaca, it's just, you know, the elasticity of alpaca isn't, you know, the greatest. It's a long staple. It's a very relaxed and drapey yarn, so I wouldn't do hats with it necessarily. In this bag there's a skein. If I was going to do a guess, I'd say this is Peer Gynt, but I don't know. Here's some more needles, some circulars and straights, and yeah. There's a lot of baby wool in here. I think my mom used this to make me an outfit. This is Lunette Superwash. I think it's from Sundance. This is a very old label of theirs. Yeah, I think maybe she wasn't knitting for me, but she was either knitting for me or my sister or my cousin, and my cousin is 19, so yeah. Oh my god, anyone in Norway remember these bags? Anyway, some more yarn in here. More of which I would guess is Peer Gynt, but I can't tell you for sure. It's just a lot of different colors in here. It's so a mess. And right at the bottom of this bag that's existed for at least 2 decades, there's a cotton yarn from a local shop that has not been around for many years. This makes no sense. There's a lot of red ribbon. I wonder if this is the stuff we decorate the dogs with at Christmas. Yes, we're that kind of family. Some of us anyway. Our outdoor thermometer from way back when. Scraps and stuff. So a Novi used to be the bomb when my mom was like in her knitting frenzy, probably the age I am now. Novi was the thing. There's a Norwegian brand of needles. They were horrible. They're gone now. But what was interesting with them, I suppose, was that they came in very unusual length of cables. They came in 50 centimeters and 70. Nowadays, you can have to choose between 60 or 40 or 80. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, this is juicy. This is the cardigan my mama spent ages finishing. She started this in 1994 for the VM sweater. That's the World Championship sweater, so it so alternates with the Olympics in the winter sport. My mom was gonna make this, but in 1994 my dad passed away unexpectedly, so both my mom and my aunt, so my dad's sister, they were knitting this and they kind of stopped. It took them a while to get started again. My mom took until about last year or the year before because she'd kind of forgotten about it. She has finished it. I'll see if I can find it somewhere in the flat. But yeah, she made that. That's the Thunder Bay version. I had been to Thunder Bay, fun fact. Lots of little baby patterns from God knows when. Look at those. Oh, this has got to be kids my age now. More children's patterns from PT. This is old stuff. Anyway, that's all we have. I'm not sure if everything here is so interesting. We'll cut away things that are really, really boring, but yeah. I like this one. This is quite the treasure to find in here. I'll see if I can find the actual cardigan somewhere. My goodness, the sun has come out. So I thought maybe I'd take you guys to town and just show you around. Like, yesterday was Sunday and all I've done is really just sit inside and poke my head out with the dogs whenever the rain ceased for a little bit. And obviously Saturday I had a day with my family, and then Friday was when I arrived in the evening. So this is actually kind of my first day proper out. I would have normally gone right away, but it's just been so much rain. This weather's been miserable, and that's a train. It's one of the downsides of being next to the coast or the fjord, just the train line goes along it. Anyway, yeah, I thought maybe we'd pop by some yarn shops or a library or see something. I don't know what I'm planning really. I just thought it's a good time to get out. But yeah, the weather's been terrible. It's gonna be terrible all week. It's exceptionally cold and rainy and windy. It's not usually like this, but I will say this has reminded me of why I was never much of an autumn person when I was just in Norway, you know, first 20 years of my life or so. Norwegian autumn just isn't that great. I mean, I'm saying that, actually autumn in Oslo last year was fabulous, but autumn in Trondheim is usually just kind of wet and dark. here again, taking a little photo shoot of some mittens that you cannot see yet, and some stockings that I'm gonna publish closer to Christmas. Haven't told you that before, they're gonna be Christmas stockings. No, I'm kidding. They are just regular stockings to wear. They are, I just dropped them on the ground. You can't see them yet. They're gonna be really nice. They're just festive looking, but not festive looking that you can wear them the rest of the year. Like you just wear them when you're cold. They just happen to have, you know, that Scandinavian look with a bit of red. And oh, I've said too much. I've said too